Hello, welcome to our belonging conversation, Miss Therese lafleche. Did I say it wrong?
No, you said it perfectly. Hi.
Good. Well, I've had the pleasure of trying to work on my French accent aigus. I'm not even saying that right, I don't feel like, but I know that I have opportunity with my Frenchness.
Yes, you do. And you have a
Uh,
place to practice it too.
exactly. That's just one of your amazing skill sets. Let me introduce you to this platform that I'm sure we're going to be all over the place sharing these interviews, but you are one of the co-authors of Belonging: Secrets to Soothe the Soul. And you're one that I've probably spent the most time with, actually, even though we're in very far away places. Um,
Really? We
I think
almost got together last summer. You almost came and stayed with me for a bit.
I know that I still need a one-way ticket. Don't worry. Someday you're gonna have me. Anyway, let's talk about the book. You excited?
Yeah.
All right, good. Well, from doing all these interviews, I think everybody knows pretty much about how we've all connected. And I don't, I want to make this interview kind of special. We're progressing, the book's in the publisher at the time of this recording. And I want to know, first of all, how are you feeling?
I'm excited about this. I don't know, like I've participated in a book before and it was exciting, it was fun, but this just has so much unlimited potential, you know? I mean, we were talking earlier and just all the different I mean, there's nine of us and we all have our own superpowers. So all the different people that we can touch, it's just incredible.
You use the word potential, and it's funny. You mentioned the ladies in our group and how we all have superpowers. And the potential that showed up for me was the fact that we have this wonderful list of a lot of books that we want to co-create. That was the potential for me. So it's interesting how words just trigger different things. So why don't you tell us a little about some of your superpowers?
Well, I've been moving since I'm 17. I finished my 29th move in 2020. So my superpowers has everything to do with living abroad, discovering new cultures, discovering yourself through new cultures. And I help people with every phase from like making that decision, the roller coaster ride that comes with a major life change. And then people think of like moving to a new place and integrating into the location. I take it a step further and help them feel at home in their new location.
I love that. That's a huge distinction at home. What do you see? I have so many questions actually. What do you see as being like one of the biggest struggles for your clients, like when they are moving into a new culture?
You know what? Surprisingly, it's a struggle that we all have, not even as travelers. It's that self-confidence. It's the belief in oneself, you know, like it happens over and over. People get into a new culture. There's that honeymoon phase. Everything is like new and exciting and then after 3 months you realize you don't know the language yet or you don't have a social circle yet. And you have that voice in the back of your mind going, was this a mistake? I should go home. Will I ever be able to do this? Right?
So the opposite of belonging, like they don't feel like they belong.
That's what's so great about this book is that, I mean, I get to help with my knowledge of moving and how I help my clients to figure out how they belong. I'm sharing you with my audience because I mean, that is another thing that they always struggle with. If there's been any sort of addiction or anything like that, when you're alone in a whole new area, you don't have any support. You may not have shared that part of your story with them because we always want to give our best impression as the first impression, right? And so, I mean, we all have these different ways of helping this huge community. I mean, usually that's what's exciting about this book, actually, is that usually when you read it, it's for a public. And when you put all of our knowledge together and all the different facets of it, I see it more as like, this is going to sound grandiose, but mankind.
Absolutely. Do you think, so you're speaking to the differences. Do you think that there's any similarities amongst us?
Ah, definitely. We all want to live our best life. We all want to experience life, right? I think we all have gone through a certain phase of our life where we were living on default, kind of, and we were all ready for that next step. Some of us had been looking into self-growth or personal enhancement for longer than others, but we all found each other on that path to becoming a better person.
I don't know this about you, so I'm going to ask you. Like, I ended up in self-growth, personal growth because of recovery, but also because of the podcast, right? I started the podcast, which led me into the ecosystem of online learning. And of course, COVID fast tracked that. 2020, it was a lot more uh, easy to attend and all of those things. But how did you get involved in personal development? Like, I'm guessing there's listeners out there or viewers that don't even know. Like, it starts with self-awareness, in my opinion. You have to know that you want to change or need to change, right? But then what? How do people start their journey? How did you start your journey?
So I actually didn't even start it through self-growth. I thought I was happy with my life. And I was at that phase, but we were actually in Germany and I was having a hard time with the language. I was teaching English and French as a job, so I didn't have a lot of opportunities to, and I wasn't fulfilled by it. And it was actually, I took an online business course to try to figure out what I could do where I would get fulfillment. And
Mm.
that coach happened to mention Wayne Dyer, and she talked a lot about Deepak Chopra. And so that opened the door. And then I just went, oh man, I think the business, yes, I want to do this, but I get to discover myself first and then figure out the business point. I was going about it backwards before.
So it's important to you to understand yourself before engaging in a business. Is that what I just heard?
Pretty much, yeah, because I had started all kinds of businesses that weren't fulfilling to me because I was doing what was in demand in the location I was in at the moment and not what I was passionate about or good about because it didn't exist. My kind of coaching I'd never heard of before, so I never thought of it as a possibility.
You keep using the word fulfilling. Can
Yeah.
you describe to me what that means to you?
Going to bed with a smile on your face, waking up in gratitude, not having to when you wake up and you can just be grateful of like 10, 20 things off the cuff without having to think about it, that's a fulfilled life for me.
Oh, I love that. So living in gratitude. I have so many questions, but I know we're trying to be at 15 minutes. But so tell me, what did do you have any advice or wisdom that you would share with the listeners on either beginning their journey? Maybe they're feeling unfulfilled, maybe they're feeling lost, or just going with the flow, right? Like we say go with the flow, but there's a negative connotation to that too, going with the flow of just settling. To me, I think that's a different verbiage for that or definition for that. So do you have any thoughts that you'd want to share with our listeners on how to get out of that or how to identify that that's what's happening? Any thoughts on that topic?
One thing I tell my clients is close your eyes and visualize your perfect life. Where are you? Who are you with? What are you doing? That's the life you are meant to live. And when you close your eyes and you just like think of it without any sort of considerations or if it's right or wrong, if I'm capable of doing it or not, that's your life. And then you have to be ballsy and tenacious and, go against the norm a lot of the times and just make it happen. But everybody can make it happen.
Oh, that's beautiful. I love that because anybody can visualize. Anybody, I shouldn't say anybody can dream because I learned that lesson the hard way. Some people can't think beyond their current circumstance. So let's give everybody permission to dream
Hmm.
bigger than they've ever imagined, um, and follow what you just said. Everybody's entitled to the life that they want to live and a fulfilling life. So,
Hmm. And I
Therese,
think, sorry, I think that if you take it from like a daydreaming point of view, like it's not real life, and you ask yourself those three questions, is just anything is possible. You know, because I
mm,
think a lot of people limit themselves with, I'm doing this because I want to know what I want to do. And then they put those barriers up.
right. Do you have any final thoughts that you would want to share with everybody before we wrap up?
Other than buy the book and devour it from page to page. No.
All right. I love that. I know books have been such a big part of my life, uh, with choices, with practices, with so many things. Like, and I'm very proud of us for getting this one done and getting it out to the world. And hopefully, they have it like I have my 50 or 100 closest friend books here. I would love to see that happen. Well, thank you for
Mhm.
your time, Therese.
Thank you. It's fun talking to you all the time.